Let's be honest about the system for a second. If you're struggling with burnout, with that low grade hum of anxiety, or the heavy fog of depression, you're told to get help. But what does that really look like in North America? It can look like a 6-month wait list for a therapist who takes your insurance. It can look like a $50 copay for every single session. It's a system that can make you feel even more helpless. This isn't a story about a miracle cure. It's a story about regaining a sense of control. We're not talking about replacing medicine or therapy. We're talking about building a stronger foundation so that everything else can work better. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the science of nutritional psychiatry. Our first stop is the gut-brain axis. This isn't a wellness trend. It's a superhighway of chemical messages constantly flowing between your digestive system and your brain. And the traffic on this highway is controlled by trillions of microorganisms, your microbiome. We used to think mental health was all in our head, but it's not. An estimated 90% of your body's serotonin, a key mood regulator, is made in your gut. So if your gut is out of whack, your mood can be too. So how do we support it? We start by feeding the good bacteria. Think of powerhouse fermented foods like plain kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut. They're full of probiotics, the good bacteria that help restore balance. A 2017 review that looked at 10 different studies found that probiotics were associated with a significant reduction in depression symptoms. Next up, beans and legumes. If probiotics are the new soldiers, prebiotics are their supply lines. Beans are packed with fiber that your gut microbes love, and they're also full of B vitamins, especially folate. Low folate levels are consistently seen in patients with depression because it's crucial for making those mood-regulating neurotransmitters. But I get it. This can all sound like vague wellness speak. You're here for the proof, the hard evidence. For years, the medical establishment kind of rolled their eyes at this. Then a study came out of Australia that was such a bombshell. It forced everyone to pay attention. It's called the SMILES trial. And trust me, this was the gold standard. A randomized controlled trial. They took people with real diagnosed moderate to severe depression. They split them into two groups. One group got social support. The other group got a dietitian who put them on a specific whole foods diet. They did this for 12 weeks. The results were staggering. The diet group didn't just feel a little better. Almost 1/3 of them, 32%, met the criteria for full remission of their symptoms. Let me repeat that. A dietary change helped put 1 in 3 people's clinical depression into remission. This is the moment we have to stop calling this alternative and start calling it what it is, medicine. But, and you knew there was a but coming. I looked at the Smiles diet. It's beautiful. It's also expensive. I walked into a grocery store in a major city last week. A pint of organic raspberries was $9. The system is not set up for us to succeed. So the question isn't just, does this work? The question is, how can we make this work in the real world without going broke? And that's what we're going to hack. Let's talk about walnuts. They're one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which your brain desperately needs. A huge study of over 26,000 American adults found that people who ate walnuts had significantly lower depression scores, just a handful a day. Then there are leafy greens, like spinach and kale. Think of chronic inflammation as a low-grade fire in your brain. Greens are potent anti-inflammatories. In fact, the link is so strong that scientists have proposed an inflammatory depressive subtype for patients who show high levels of inflammation. For them, food isn't just healthy living. It's a targeted biological intervention. This brings us to pumpkin seeds. They are a powerhouse for two reasons. First, magnesium. Many of us are deficient, and studies have linked magnesium supplementation to improvements in mild to moderate depression. Second, they contain tryptophan. Now, we need to be very careful here. You'll see things online saying, tryptophan boosts serotonin, making you happy. That is a dangerous oversimplification. Yes, tryptophan is a building block for serotonin, but eating it doesn't automatically raise serotonin levels in your brain like a medication does. It has to cross the blood-brain barrier, and it's not very good at it. It is not a substitute for an SSRI. So why eat them? Think of it as making sure your factory has all the raw materials on hand. You're supporting the entire system. So Where does this leave us? Is there a cure? Because curing is the wrong word. It's about building a toolkit. It's the person who is still in therapy and maybe decided with their doctor that medication was the right choice, but now has the stable energy from their diet to get through the day. The food isn't the magic pill, it's the lever. It's one of a collection of levers along with therapy, medication, sleep, and movement that you can pull to start moving the needle. What this science tells us is that we have more agency than we think. While navigating a difficult healthcare system, we can take evidence-based action right in our own kitchens. It's not about perfection. It's about adding one thing, one handful of walnuts, one side of kimchi, one small defiant act of self-care, backed by science. What has your journey looked like? Share your experience and strategies in the comments. Let's build a community of real support.